Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this, this is the journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. The objective is try to get 201 trades, each with an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. Today's video, we're going to be doing some important updates for MMTLP, ABML, NLST and also TRKA, so stay tuned for those. Before we get started, let's have a quick look at what's happening in the markets. So headline here from Yahoo Finance, we can see that stock market news today, stocks fall ahead of crucial February jobs report. So there is quite a significant amount of fear in the market. If we have a look at the heat map here, almost all sectors, including energy, technology especially, and consumer cyclical are down. Tesla is also taking a hit. Apple is also taking a hit. So until we get the jobs report, obviously significant amount of uncertainty. So hopefully after that jobs report, this fall in the market will be priced in. I'm going to start by giving a shout out here to Bradley Tate, who has posted the tweet, and I think for now we're going to look at this tweet as speculation. But even though we're going to look at this as speculation, I think it is still important to be aware of what is being said and what is being speculated on. So let's have a look at the tweet in question, and what is stated here is positive outcome for entangled mess. I spoke with the SEC today, asked when this will end, and the representative said there will be a resolution. Multiple agencies are working on this, and obviously that's a quotation, and the source of the quotation is G Sing 1688. So what Bradley is saying here is great news, very different from the usual silence that people have been getting from the SEC. So let's have a look at follow-ons from this thread. And what Bradley is also going on to say is if you see it as hot air, it's up to you. The important factor to take note of is that the SEC normally say absolutely nothing, and obviously this time they are saying something, so we have to wait and see. But in terms of G Singh's response, what he has said in response to what Bradley said is obviously he's saying maybe multiple tweets will help. Your wording in bold, looking at positive outcome and great news, obviously it seems to be more promising than it really is. So G Singh here is the person who has made the call. And what Bradley is saying, obviously didn't have enough space in the tweet to quote that. But to finish off here, what in terms of clarification, what G Singh is saying is he did make the call. That was the correct statement, but he's also saying I also stated there is no timeline on when or what the resolution will be. So that's the clarification. But for now, again, I agree, this is still speculation. Next shout out here is to Not Iron Man Ape, who's contacted the Ombudsman for FINRA, and after 90 days and 500 letters, he's finally got a response. So let's have a look at this response from the Ombudsman for FINRA. So it states here, your emails to FINRA will refer to FINRA's Ombudsman. We apologise for the delay. So obviously the delay is 90 days. What I think they should also apologise for is replying after 500 letters. So what they also go on to say at the bottom here, they appreciate the concerns regarding MMTLP shares trading and the halt on 9th of December 2022 by FINRA. They will assess the document and the concern. FINRA relies on information from investors, looking at information with regard to oversight of the securities industry and market. So far fairly bog standard. They're also going on to say if you have not received shares of NextBridge, we recommend you contact your broker. So in other words, don't contact us. And obviously finishing off, this says if your concern pertains to a transfer agent, note that the transfer agents are regulated by the SEC and not FINRA. So in other words, again, passing the buck. So pretty much standard response with no admission of any error in terms of the U3 halt. I'd now like to do a quick update on ticker symbol ABML, also known as American Battery Technology Company. So let's start by having a look at the chart. So this is a chart for the previous 5 days, and we can see here it is up in excess of 50%. Currently at time of editing, trading around about $1.27, and I think on a high it did at one point go up to $1.40, and I think there was also an opportunity to get this close to $1 yesterday, and it did come back up very, very quickly after that. So let's have a look at the latest developments. So from the official Twitter handle, the first piece of good news here is the company has stated they are pleased to announce they purchased a move-in ready commercial sized scale facility to accelerate and expand commercialization of our internally developed first of a kind recycling technology. So commercialization, obviously they're looking at selling, they're looking at revenue, and eventually they're looking at profit. And obviously the focus here, as it states, is a rapidly growing domestic battery manufacturing industry. So in the previous video, you will know the other news that we talked about in terms of the lithium find. So obviously they have, by acquiring this company, they've obviously skipped huge amount of red tape. Obviously removed any requirements in terms of planning permission, that obviously permits, etc. So huge amount of time saved, and that is definitely going to help in terms of revenue. So let's have a quick summary in terms of the key news that has helped to drive this stock forward. So they may have potentially got now the largest United States lithium deposit, or if not, definitely one of the largest. So in the previous video we did look at that. Obviously we also got the other catalyst, 20 million offtake agreement to buy for black mass and other materials. So again, that's positive news as well. And we've just seen the fast track commercialization recycling program in terms of their existing facility. But let's have a quick look at the actual land. So shout out here to M&M, identified on the land here some key areas and positive catalyst and potentially some speculation for ABML. So on the left hand side we have the headquarters. After that we have the new facility on the first arrow to the right of the head office, and then after that we have the land where there is a possible storage facility in the middle. The arrow on the right represents one of the Tesla gigafactories, and then at the top right hand corner is obviously the ABML pilot plant. So everything certainly seems to be pointing in a positive direction. So this is certainly a stock, in my opinion, that is definitely a long-term hold. With commercialization, I certainly think they will make a move towards the NASDAQ as well. So a stock that we will be watching. The next update I'd like to provide is for ticker symbol NLST, also known as Netlist Incorporated. So let's start by having a look at the chart for the previous 3 months. We know that this was trading fairly static around about the $1 mark, but fairly recently has shown a significant trend moving upwards, and right now today again it is going opposite to the market trend, which is significantly red, up at the time of editing in excess of 15% at $3.19. I think at one point it was very close to the $4 mark, and up in excess of 113% over the previous 3 months. And I think if we take the low from $1, and right now we're getting close to $4, a much more bigger increase. So what is driving it? So officially I don't think any catalysts or news have been announced. So in terms of speculation, let's have a look at what could be going on behind the scenes. So one kind of rumor or speculation is there could be rumors of maybe a deal, or maybe obviously some agreement in terms of obviously the settlements with regard to Netlist and Samsung. We're also looking at Netlist and Google, so there could be something going on behind the scenes there. In other obviously cases, we know that they also have a case with Micron as well. And the key date for you to remember in terms of what's happening is the 17th of April. So any verdict positive in favor of Netlist for the 17th of April could be huge. However, what is happening now potentially could be speculation in terms of an agreement or out of court prior to that date. So definitely obviously the alternative is there could also be a settlement well after the 17th of April. Again, all speculation, but maybe it could be a case that somebody knows something. We know in terms of buy orders, there have been significant buy orders in this run-up. So officially this run-up is no official news, but let's see what happens. I am fairly confident. And finally, just to finish off, quick update on ticker symbol TRKA. So quick shout out here to Roger James Hamilton, who has spoke very positively with regard to TRKA, but what he stated here is what he hates with regard to TKA is posting of the PR of record earnings behind the scenes and then quietly filing a 10K showing massive dilution to 344 million shares. Many investors lost a huge amount. So we have seen this stock become extremely volatile, going up very, very significantly, then coming down very significantly. And the same thing has happened today. So it's a stock that you certainly need to trade with extreme care. And let's have a look at what's happening in terms of follow-up from that speculation. We should say that news with regard to the dilution. So shout out here to Irish Minnow 31, who stated all the dilution was from the conversion of the E-shares and warrants. Those shares can't be sold and won't be delivered. So while it does say 300 million plus shares outstanding, that's not true. From the standpoint of the affecting share price, he's saying the float is still 68 million until this is proved wrong. However, that may be true, but the way the market operates, the market does operate on rumor, the market does operate on expectations, and the market does operate on fear. So we have had fear, we have had rumor. So whether this is true or whether this is not true, this will lead to a huge negative impact on the share price. So obviously the CEO of TRKA must have known that. It's not good news for investors, but it is something that we will be watching, and certainly things could change very, very quickly with some clarification, with some positive news. But again, I find this is a stock that we certainly need to trade with care. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.